Today on Carolina Week, a change in the map that favors Republicans, what the new map means for political control on Capitol Hill.
And UNC is getting a new school of AI, what that means for future majors. Carolina Week starts now.
From the UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, connecting Carolina's campus and community, this is Carolina Week.
Welcome to Carolina Week. I'm Mackenzie Acton.
And I'm Leah Mitchell.
The North Carolina Senate has approved new congressional maps that redraw the state into more Republican-favored districts. Our Kate Chapman is in the studio breaking it all down. Kate, what does this new map impact on the legislature?
I want to start at the very beginning with a key term, gerrymandering. Right now you'll hear a lot of Democrats use this term, not a lot of Republicans. So here's what it is. Gerrymandering means drawing electoral districts to give one party an advantage, and in this case, the Republicans gain the advantage by 1 seat. This process started just last week when Republican leaders Phil Berger and Destin Hall announced they were drawing a new map. Their goal? To increase the number of North Carolina Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives from 10 to 11. Let's take a look at what our map looks like right now. You can see it's overwhelmingly red in areas except around Wake and Mecklenburg County and this big chunk of eastern North Carolina. That includes 22 counties like Nash and Edgecombe. Now let's look at our new map. You will immediately notice that previous blue section of eastern North Carolina is now red. So how were Republicans able to do this? First, they took heavily concentrated Democratic regions and broke them up into smaller districts. Think of it like slicing a pizza. So one person gets most of the toppings. Those slices aren't going to be even, they'll be cut in weird, uneven shapes, all designed to give that one person with all the toppings an advantage. Now with this new map, there will be a few super blue districts and a bunch of lighter red districts. So what does this mean for the layout of the North Carolina legislature? Right now, Democrat Don Davis represents District 1, this big slice that used to be blue in eastern North Carolina. And with this new map, Davis is almost guaranteed to lose his seat. So this means District 1 will shift from a swing left-leaning district to a Republican district, with the addition of this land on the coast. Berger believes this new map represents the interests of North Carolinians. He posted this statement on X, saying, "This new map represents the will of North Carolina voters who sent President Trump to the White House 3 times. But Representative Don Davis pushed back on X, saying that though he has received thousands of messages from voters of all viewpoints, quote, not a single one of them included a request for a new congressional map redrawing eastern North Carolina. Clearly, this congressional map is beyond the pale. Now, with more Republican-leaning districts, the party stands to gain greater control in Washington. That could help Republicans push national priorities like immigration reform and spending cuts, while making it harder for Democrats to block Republican-backed legislation. The maps passed 26-20 in the Senate and will likely be approved through a final vote in the House since Republicans are the majority. That vote is taking place right now. The House is meeting right now, and they are going to vote later, and we are keeping an eye on it. Back to you.
Thank you, Kate. We are now on day 22 of the government shutdown. Lawmakers have still not reached a deal on the spending plan, which impacts over 700,000 federal workers across the country.
In the shutdown.
At 21 days, the government shutdown is now tied for the second longest in U.S. history. Democrats say they want a funding bill that addresses Medicaid cuts and expiring Obamacare subsidies.
Tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles.
Republicans say they won't discuss that until Democrats pass their funding bill with no changes.
What exactly is there to negotiate?
The shutdown ties 130 years ago when congressional Republicans gave up about half the Medicare cuts they wanted in return for a balanced budget.
Newt Gingrich shut down the government in 1995 because he wanted Clinton to cut Medicare. Clinton wouldn't do it.
We didn't let the fighting stop the negotiating. We also didn't let the negotiating stop the fighting.
The longest shutdown ever remains the one during President Donald Trump's first term. It holds the record of 35 days after Democrats refused to pay for a border wall.
Whatever it takes. I mean, we're going to have a wall.
He didn't get it. And when air traffic controllers started not showing up to work, the Republicans buckled on that.
Unions say this shutdown is hard on air traffic controllers, too. Pre-existing staff shortages have many working overtime now without pay.
You're allowing outside stress to work its way into the control room.
I'm Mimi Kiley reporting.
If the shutdown continues, more federal programs and jobs could be affected, including services that many students and families in Chapel Hill depend on every day.
And continuing with the government shutdown, many are worried that their SNAP benefits may not be distributed. A letter to all regional SNAP directors from the USDA warned that, quote, if the current lapse in appropriations continues, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits. Food pantries across the country have been having issues keeping shelves stocked and prices low. People are remaining optimistic that the community will come through and support these pantries to help them keep their doors open. Our local food pantry, Carolina Cupboard, is open for walk-ins Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and bi-weekly Saturdays from 12 to 4. Now we're live with our reporter, Emma Hill, who is at Carolina Cupboard. Emma, tell us what you're seeing over there.
Thanks, Mackenzie. I am here at Carolina Cupboard, located on South Campus. Joined by me today is Vice President Angelica Jameson. Angelica, walking here today, I noticed loads of students shoveling in what seem to be grocery bags. As Vice President, can you just tell me, how has the shutdown impacted Carolina Cupboard? Is there an increased demand of food resources, an increased demand of volunteers? What's the status so far?
Yeah, so being a food pantry at a college campus, we allow anyone with a PID to utilize our services. However, our primary demographics are definitely undergrad and grad students. With that being said, many college students are known to be kind of unsure about whether they qualify for SNAP benefits, or even if they do qualify, many college students don't even utilize the SNAP benefits. So far this semester, we've seen kind of a steady flow of guests entering the pantry. We have kind of a steady flow of usage of food, about 600 pounds per week, and have not really yet seen any effects from the government shutdown.
You guys heard it here. Carolina Cupboard is still pushing forward regardless of the government shutdown. Their hours of operations remain the same, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Emma. Another resource on campus is the Chapel Hill Community Fridge. With weekly restocks, the Community Fridge is open to all in need of food. The fridge is located in the right-hand building of the Union near the back exit. The fridge is open Monday through Thursday, 10:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
A major topic on campus this week, and not just here. North Carolina Governor Josh Stein talked about it on Monday, saying AI will help us to be more productive and competitive as a state. And here at Chapel Hill, the administration has now announced a new school. For now, it's known as the School of AI. In early October, the university announced it would be combining the School of Information and Library Science and the School of Data Science and Society to form a new school yet to be named. Stanley Ahalt, Dean of the School of Data Science and Society, will become Dean of the new school. Students who are currently seeking a degree in the two original schools are still able to continue as planned, according to the university. There is still little information on the location of the school, and more will be announced in the upcoming faculty meetings at the end of this month and early November.
And speaking of schools, UNC students, don't fret. You can now log back into Canvas to access those assignments you've been procrastinating on after the website was offline earlier this week. On Monday at 3 p.m., Amazon released a statement explaining that it was investigating increased error rates related to Amazon Web Services. University media relations personnel stated, quote, "The Amazon Web Services outage was on a system outside of and not controlled by the university," end quote. The websites impacted for the university were Team Dynamics, the system ITS uses for help requests, Canvas, where students can see their grades and assignments, and VoiceThread, a way for students and professors to upload assignments on Canvas. By 10 p.m. on Monday, the university released a statement saying the issue had been resolved and web services remained stable after monitoring.
UNC is investigating more incidents of stolen bikes and scooters on campus. The university announced in a statement through its emergency system, Alert Carolina. There are currently 4 open cases regarding the theft of motor vehicles on campus. 3 of them involve scooters, while the other was an electric bike. All 4 cases have been opened in the past 10 days, and all occurred outside of dorms. The 2 most recent cases both happened outside of Granville's South Building. There have been 30 total reports of stolen motor vehicles since August 22nd. The Alert Carolina message sent out to members of the UNC community was the second message of its kind since the beginning of the semester.
And a trial is ongoing for the man who fired shots on Franklin Street last Thursday night, according to a police report. Responded to shots fired by 74-year-old Gary Wayne Council outside of Italian Pizzeria 3 on Franklin Street. Council was arrested and is facing several charges, including first-degree attempted murder. If convicted, Council could be sentenced to over 30 years in prison.
That was a lot of information, but we still have more to get to.
Coming up on Carolina Week, how will AI impact your next job search? They're talking about it at ConvergeCon, a one-of-a-kind conversation happening this week on campus. What you need to know to be part of the conversation.
And grass versus turf. On the field, UNC has made changes. Why some athletes say it's better for their body.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. I see some good weather, some beautiful trees. It's really fall.
I'm seeing a lot of gorgeous fall colors. Oh my goodness. I love to see it. We are joined with our Megan Giller right now to tell us a little bit about the weather.
It's going to be beautiful this week. Are you guys excited for the fall weather?
I'm super excited. I love wearing sweatshirts and sweaters, so this is my favorite kind of weather. And
I just brought back my fall clothes from home, so I'm ready to bring those out. Can you tell us about what that might look like?
Oh yes, it's going to be quite lovely, quite exciting as we move into this week. We're going to start to see temperatures moving into the upper 60s, lower 70s. As we start out around our noontime, we're looking at 67. Around our 3 p.m., we'll only peak at about 72 degrees, and then we'll go back into those lower 60s by 3 p.m. Today, we have an increased fire danger. That's one thing we want to point out, just because you don't want to be starting fires today. It's going to be a very dry environment out there. We have lower dew points today, and it's going to be breezy. So you want to bring your jacket if you're headed to the fair, but also that means that if you do decide to burn today, it could get lifted by that wind and pushed out. So definitely don't want to be doing that. Looking at our surface map, we're seeing nothing. It's great, it's beautiful. We have a high pressure system up here, and that's just bringing in all the sunshine and lovely weather that we're gonna be seeing over the next week. Seems pretty short today what I'm chatting about, but we're having temperatures in the our lower 70s, I should say, and then the upper 60s as we move into Friday and Saturday. As we're moving into Sunday, though, we'll go down just a little bit more to the lower or the mid 60s-ish. If you're headed to the fair, though, the temperatures are going to go down overnight, so make sure you're bringing a jacket if you're staying until the fireworks.
Thanks, Megan. I am so glad to see no rain in the forecast since the NC State Fair is in town, and I plan on going tonight.
I haven't been yet, but I really do want to go, and I'm looking forward to seeing everything that the fair has to offer. The state fair is filled with all sorts of rides and fried foods you wouldn't eat anywhere else. Plus, there are various carnival games that fairgoers can play to take home a big prize, like a little stuffed animal. If you need a ride, Go Triangle buses and car service options make getting there hassle-free. Mackenzie, what are you looking forward to most for the fair tonight?
I love the rides. My personal favorite ride is the big claw that kind of goes up and down like this. I think it's called the Cyclone. I don't know. But the fair isn't the only festival in town. UNC's Hussman School is having their first ever AI festival kicking off tonight, and it runs through Friday. ConvergeCon invites students from all across campus to explore the connection between humanity and artificial intelligence. The festival includes everything from a promptathon to an AI versus human mock trial. Carolina Week got an early look at one of the main attractions, an interactive AI art installation that responds to students in real time using motion tracking and open AI technology. The installation locates who's asking the question and generates a spoken response. Hussman professor Scott Geer is the mind behind ConvergeCon. He says the goal is to get students talking about AI's impact on their future.
Students are affected by this more than anybody. And I want to give students a chance to talk to people, ask them questions like, am I going to have a job?
The event begins tomorrow, and students can register for the conference on the Hussman website.
Stadiums across the country are switching from artificial turf to grass fields in preparation for the FIFA World Cup this summer. UNC made a similar switch this year following the hiring of a new coaching staff. Assistant Facilities Director Casey Carrick says that player safety and performance was at the forefront of the decision to switch to natural grass, a change that meant rolling up the old synthetic turf to make way for a new surface. He says that there's not much of a difference in injuries this year compared to previous years for UNC, but Carrick says that players notice the difference.
They feel less sore after a game or an event on a natural grass field versus synthetic field. It takes longer to recover after a game on synthetic, so that's kind of the main takeaway we get from the players.
Finding that muscle soreness for rugby players was consistently higher over the 4 days following a match on artificial turf versus natural grass.
And Molly, UNC teams will be taking to both the turf and the grass this weekend, right?
That's absolutely correct, and there's going to be a lot of crucial matchups with postseason fates hanging in the balance, so it should be a pretty fun weekend of Carolina athletics.
Can't wait to hear about that. We'll have more on field hockey and soccer after the break.
Hey y'all, I've decided to quit vaping. I feel so trash right now. Like, I really need my vape. Y'all, I literally cannot sleep. Like, I hope this is worth it. I can't. I know quitting is worth it. 'Cause I'm worth it.
Welcome back to Carolina Week.
In studio today, we have Molly Malik from Sports Extra to talk about all things Carolina athletics. Molly, can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up?
Thanks, Mackenzie. It was a big weekend for North Carolina field hockey, both on and off the field. The Tar Heels swept their road trip with wins against Syracuse and Cornell. Charlie Bruder sealed the victory versus the Orange with a goal in the final 30 seconds, and her clutch performance earned her ACC Player of the Week. UNC now moves up to #1 in the country, while Reese Anitsberger and Danny Mendez were also named to the USA Field Hockey U21 Women's National Team. And coming off a 3-0 win against SMU, the Tar Heels, led by Caitlin Mara, a member of Top Drawers Soccer's Team of the Week, are looking for another key victory tomorrow. They take on the University of Miami. The Heels found their offensive rhythm against SMU and looked unstoppable. They'll look to keep that momentum going against a Miami team still searching for consistency in ACC play. The Hurricanes will need to slow down the Heels' offense or they risk leaving with their 4th loss in a row. With postseason positioning on the line, the Tar Heels will need to stay sharp on both ends of the field. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. On Monday, the men's tennis team competed in the doubles finals for the ITA Regionals in Cary. And Chris Hsu and Niels Rachu defeated USC in the quarterfinals in straight sets, with a break on 40-40 winning 6-4, 5-4. The final was brother fighting brother, with Hsu and Rachu competing against their teammates Ian Mayu and Kay Schinnerer. Hsu and Rachu took the win 7-6, 6-2, punching their ticket to the 2025-2026 NCAA Division I's Men's Double Championship. It was a strong showing for North Carolina women's tennis on Tuesday at the ITA Regionals as well. Obi Kajuru began her day with a straight sets victory against NC State's Ziranova 6-2, 6-3, claiming the regional singles co-champion title and her spot in the NCAA Individual Championships. Kajuru would continue later in the day with teammate Susanna Maltby. The pair secured the doubles regional championship in a win against South Carolina, taking both sets 7-5, 6-1, and punching yet another ticket to the NCAA Individual Championships in the fall. After sweeping Clemson and beating Georgia Tech for the first time since 2017, the UNC volleyball team is ranked number 21 in the nation. This is the Tar Heels' highest ranking since being ranked number 11 in 2017. They're 6-0 in ACC play, which is their best start since 2016, and they're on a 7-match win streak. The Heels look to climb higher in the rankings this week as they face Notre Dame on Friday and number 8 ranked Louisville on Sunday. And men's golf traveled to Wilmington for their fall final tournament. Junior transfer Niall Shields-Donegan led the Heels, finishing 5th overall. UNC tied for 3rd, ending their 4-year winning streak in the Williams Cup. The Heels will start their spring season in Hawaii on February 5th. Make sure to tune in to Sports Extra this Friday at 11:30 for more Tar Heel sports updates. We'll be right back with Carolina Week.
It's been a year of growth. I'm focused, I'm resilient. It's been a rewarding year. All the hours of late night studying, all the hard work, all the breaking bad habits is finally paying off. I'm an athlete. I'm an academic.
Oh my God.
I can be whatever I set my mind to. And I am not my old bad habits.
Welcome back to Carolina Week. Diwali was on Monday, but the Carolina community is still celebrating. Diwali is the Hindu festival of lights. UNC's Hindu Yuva, a Hindi organization on campus, is hosting a Diwali event. It will feature Pen Masala, the world's first and premier South Asian a cappella group. There will also be performances by other UNC groups, delicious Indian food, and lots of dancing. The celebration goes from 5:30 until 11 p.m. on Friday.
And the cultural festivities just keep coming. This Thursday, the Latinx Center is hosting a viewing party of Aztec Batman, the re-imaging of a classic story set in the Aztec Empire. The event will include viewing the movie and then a conversation led by critical media studies professor Dr. Gabriel A. Cruz. The movie starts at 6:30 in the Freedom Forum in Carroll Hall. There will be snacks and CLE credit provided.
If you're not into art with a little bit of magic, something big is coming to Raleigh. Thomas Dumbo's giant recycled trolls are taking over Raleigh. In Dorothea Dix Park, this is the first of 5 giant trolls designed by Danish recycle artist Thomas Dumbo and built with the help of local volunteers. They are made out of salvaged wood from pallets and fallen branches. Once complete, they will be added to Dumbo's troll map, which marks where his 150-plus trolls will be located around the world. You can check out the map online by visiting trollmap.com. I would love to see one of those trolls. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, Dumbo's giant recycled trolls.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to see that now.
Yeah, we have to. Well, this is all we have for Carolina Week today.
And we'll see you next Wednesday.